This is lesson one. I'm just gonna clarify that in these videos, I will only be focusing on explaining the grammar points. I will not be going into practice and exercises parts of the PowerPoint slides, so that we'll be able to focus on the grammars. First grammar point, noun one, wa, noun two, this. This is the most basic grammar in the Japanese language. So it means is, am, are. So noun one is, am, are, noun two. So we have explanations here. The particle wa, okay, just note that this is, if you have memorized your hiragana and katakana, this is ha, but the particle ha is read as wa, okay? So the particle wa indicates that the word before it is the topic of the sentence. You select a noun you want to talk about and add wa to show that it is the topic and give a statement about the topic. And then we have des, okay? Nouns used with des work as predicates, which means that they are the latter part of the sentence. Des indicates judgment or assertion, also conveys that the speaker is being polite toward the listener, and inflects when the sentence is negative or in the past tense. This will be explained later on in the later lessons. But for now, we are focused on wa, the particle wa, and this. Again, this is an ender that is polite. Okay? For example, we have watashi wa maiku mira desu. I am maiku mira. And then we also have watashi wa gakusei desu. I am a student. So this is the subject, watashi. The subject here is watashi. And then we have wa, the particle. This means that the subject of the sentence is the noun before it, which is watashi. And then we have maiku mira desu, which is the predicate of the sentence. And that is the statement about the topic that we have here. So Mike Miller is me. I am Mike Miller. The next one is noun one wa noun two ja arimasen. Okay? Noun one is am or are not noun two. Okay, ja arimasen is the negative form of this. It is the form used in daily conversation. For a formal speech writing, de wa arimasen is used instead. Okay, so ja arimasen used in daily conversation, but if you want to be more polite or in speech and in writing, we use de wa arimasen. This is de wa arimasen. For example, we have Santos-san wa gakusei ja arimasen, or Santos-san wa gakusei de wa arimasen, which means Santos-san is not a student. The rules for the previous grammar point still apply here. So Santos-san is a noun, wa particle, and then wa here indicates that Santos-san is the subject of the sentence, and then after that is the predicate of the sentence. So instead of having des after gakusei, after student, we have ja arimasen to indicate that Santos-san is not a student. Next we have sentence ka or sentence desu ka. Okay, as we are dealing with noun sentences for now, we're gonna focus on sentence desu ka. Okay, sentence ka will more apply to verb sentences, which are gonna be dealt with in the next lessons. So sentence desu ka is the question form of our previous grammar points, especially the noun one wa, noun two desu. Okay, so we have ka, which is a particle here at the end of the sentence, ka. The particle ka is used to express the speaker's doubt, question, uncertainty, and so on and so forth. A question is formed by simply adding ka to the end of the sentence. Question ends with rising intonation. So questions asking whether a statement is correct or not. We have two ways here. As mentioned above, a sentence becomes a question when ka is added to the end. The word order does not change, okay? It's still noun 1, wa, noun 2, this, and then you add ka at the end. Depending on whether you agree with a statement or not, your answer to such questions begins with hai or iye. So this is only for questions asking whether a statement is correct or not. So it's a yes or no question. So we answer that question with hai or iye. For example, we have Mira-san wa Amerikajin desu ka? Again, this is the same order as noun 1 wa, noun 2 des, right? So Mira-san wa Amerikajin desu ka? We just add the ka at the end to make it into a question. So this means, is Miller-san an American, or is Mr. Miller an American? And so we answer it with hai. Hai, Amerikajin desu. Yes, he is. Okay. And we have Mira-san wa sensei desu ka? Mira-san wa sensei desu. This is the noun 1 wa, noun 2 desu. But then we add ka, which makes it into a question. So Mira-san wa sensei desu ka? Is Miller-san a teacher, or is Mr. Miller a teacher? Iie, sensei ja arimasen. He is not. So this kind of question, which is confirming whether you are correct or not, is answered with a yes or a no. Okay, so whether you agree or not, your answer to this sort of question should start with hai or iie. And then we have the next one, questions with interrogatives, okay? An interrogative replaces the part of the sentence that covers what you want to ask about. The word order does not change, and ka is added at the end. So, we have here, ano kata wa donata desu ka? Okay, so we ask that person, who is that person? Ano kata wa donata desu ka? So instead of the normal noun here, we have a who. This is the more polite version of who. But if you want to be more a little bit casual, then you can ask ano kata wa dare desu ka? Okay, so instead of noun 1 wa, noun 2 desu ka, which is a yes or no question, the noun 2 is replaced with an interrogative, which means it's placed with a what, who, or whatever it is, that the question words that we have, okay? So for example here, ano kata wa donata desu ka? Who is that man? So it's the same order in here. Ano kata is noun 1, wa, dare or donata, noun 2 supposedly, but now replaced with an interrogative, desu ka, okay? So ano kata wa Mira-san desu. That person is Mr. Miller. And then next we have noun mo, which means also, okay? Mo is added after a topic instead of wa, so mo replaces wa when the statement about the topic is the same as the previous topic. Okay, so for example, we have Mina-san wa kaishain desu. Again, this is noun 1 wa, noun 2 desu. And then we say Gupta-san mo kaishain desu. This means Mr. Gupta is also a company employee. So this is a topic that is the same as this topic. That's why we are using mo. Mo is only used in cases where it can replace wa, and there is a previous topic that is the same as the topic that you are talking about. And then we have noun 1 no, noun 2. It means of, okay? So noun 2 of noun 1. So no is used to connect two nouns. So noun 1 modifies noun 2. So noun 1 is the organization or some kind of group to which noun 2 belongs. So for example, we have 皆さん wa, the subject of a sentence, IMC no shain desu. So noun 2, no noun 1. So Mr. Miller is an IMC employee, or for more specific translation, Mr. Miller is an employee of IMC. Okay? So noun 2 of noun 1. And then we have san, Mr., Mrs., or Miss. Okay, san is added to the name of the listener or a third person to show the speaker's respect to the person. So it should never be used with the speaker's own name. So, あの方は Mira-san desu. Instead of Mr., Mrs., and Miss, we use san. So that person is Mr. Miller. And then we have, when referring directly to the listener, okay, the word anata or you is not commonly used if you know the listener's name. If you already know the listener's name, you should not, or you commonly don't say anata. Okay, the listener's family name followed by san is usually used. So for example, we have Suzuki here is saying, Mira-san wa gakusei desu ka? Are you a student? Talking to Mira-san. Okay. Mira-san wa gakusei desu ka? So instead of anata wa gakusei desu ka, since Suzuki knows Mira-san's name, okay, so he is calling Mira-san instead of you. Mira-san wa gakusei desu ka? And Mira-san says, Iie, kaishain desu. So are you a student? No, I'm a company employee. Even though it is translated as you here, Suzuki did not use anata. Anata wa gakusei desu ka? That's because Suzuki knows Mira-san's name already. So again, we use the listener's family name followed by san. So that is the end of lesson 1. I will see you in lesson 2.